is Kason, and I am not going to be participating in this podcast. But let me introduce you to the person that will be, Liam!
Thank you for the introduction, Kason. I really appreciate that. Hello there, everybody. I am Liam Edwards, but you may call me Nevada if you would like. I am here with the start of episode 1, and in today's podcast, I am going to be going over the case of Junko Furuta. On November 25th, 1988 in Japan, Junko was coming back home from her part-time job. Two teenage boys, Hiroshi Miyano and Shinji Minato. Minato kicked Furuta off of her bicycle and fled the scene. Miyano then showed up, gained Furuta's trust, and threatened her, and he said he would spare her as long as she followed his orders. Miyano then proceeded to take Furuta by taxi to a hotel in Adachi. He then bragged to Agura, and Agura told Miyano not to let Junko leave. Minato then agreed to allow Furuta to be confined in a room in the second floor of his house in Adachi. Furuta was held captive there for around 40 days. In early December, as punishment for an escape attempt, she was punched in the face repeatedly by her captors, and Minato burned her ankles with a lighter. They also forced her to drink large amounts of alcohol. I think that at some point, Furuta was beaten by the group. Miyano had burnt her thighs and hands with lighter fluid several times. Throughout the rest of December, the severity of Furuta's abuse continued to escalate, and by the end of the month, she was severely malnourished. On the 4th of January, 1989, after losing money in a game of Mahjong, I don't really know how to pronounce that, Miyano took his anger out on Furuta. He ignited a candle and dripped hot wax on her face, placed 2 shortened candles on her eyelids, and then the group beat her up with their fists and an iron exercise ball, which they dropped on her several times. Miyano then poured lighter fluid on her and set her on fire. Furuta then made weak attempts to put herself out, but soon stopped moving. Afraid that the crime might be discovered, they wrapped her body in a blanket and put in a large travel bag. They put the travel bag into a metal drum and filled it up with wet concrete. They then managed to drive all the way to a vacant lot in a construction site and drop the drum there. The perpetrators were arrested, and some were sentenced to separate times in jail or prison. Hiroshi Miyano changed his last name to Yokoyama, and Joe Agura changed his last name to Kamisaku. In my opinion, this is one of the most gruesome cases I have ever gone over. Thank you for attending today's podcast.